And of course, Team USA basketball, they got to stir up some drama. They got to stir up some drama with Paige Bueckers hitting a shot on Caitlin Clark. They got to stir up some drama, and of course, just setting both of them up to get cooked in the comments. It is what it is.
Team USA basketball just dropped practice footage and the internet went absolutely nuclear. Paige Bueckers knocked down a shot over Caitlin Clark during a routine drill, and suddenly everyone's acting like we just witnessed the game of the century. USA basketball knew exactly what they were doing when they posted that specific clip, knowing it would ignite a firestorm between two fan bases who already have serious beef with each other. After waiting 5 whole months to see Caitlin back on the court playing real basketball, this is the moment that sends everyone into overdrive.
We're not going to act like CC wasn't getting PB to turn over that ball last time like they played 3 times. The last time they played like 3 times. Yeah. Paige Bueckers thought Caitlin Clark was on her team. See, she turned the ball over so much. I hope y'all are monitoring the negative, nasty comments from those.
Here's my question.
Here's what I want to know. How does a single practice shot during a basic drill cause this level of absolute mayhem? Drop your thoughts in the comments about what this chaos says about where basketball fandom is headed. Team USA basketball released some practice footage from their North Carolina training camp, and one particular moment just broke the internet completely. Paige Bueckers connected on a shot while Caitlin Clark was defending during what looked like a standard defensive drill, and the response was immediate and totally out of control. Here's what actually went down in reality. This was practice, not some high-stakes one-on-one battle, not a scrimmage where something was actually on the line, just a regular defensive drill where players practice specific fundamentals in game situations. Paige took her shot and made it. Caitlin was playing defense. End of story. But USA Basketball absolutely knew what they were doing by choosing this exact clip to share. They had countless moments from that practice session they could have highlighted. Caitlin draining deep threes, Cameron Brink swatting shots, any number of incredible plays from other elite players. Instead, they went with Paige scoring on Caitlin because they knew it would create massive engagement. Well, mission definitely accomplished because those comments turned into an absolute battlefield within minutes.
Oh, God, I
Caitlin Clark supporters immediately jumped to her defense, emphasizing this was just one possession during practice, that Caitlin's been sidelined for 5 months dealing with injury recovery, that practice drills are meaningless when it comes to actual evaluation. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers fans celebrated like she just captured Finals MVP, treating this single shot like it settled some major debate about who's superior. What both sides completely ignore is that elite players score on each other constantly. That's just what happens when incredible offensive talents match up against great defenders. Sometimes offense prevails, sometimes defense wins. A single possession during a practice drill reveals absolutely nothing meaningful about comparative skill levels, but reasonable perspective doesn't drive social media engagement. Inflammatory takes and fan-based loyalty do, so we ended up with comments like Paige finally gets excited about winning something, which is incredibly unfair considering Paige has battled serious injuries throughout her college career that prevented championship opportunities. We saw comments like Paige thought Caitlin was her teammate since she turned it over constantly, referencing those college matchups where Caitlin's Iowa squad defeated Paige's UConn team repeatedly. The pettiness reached ridiculous levels, and USA Basketball knew exactly what would happen when they shared that footage. They're not clueless about this stuff. They understand these fan bases, these rivalries, the attention that comes from any hint of drama between Caitlin and other top-tier players. What disappears in all this manufactured controversy is what actually has importance. Both Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers are phenomenally gifted basketball players who are there to help Team USA get ready for international competition. They're teammates working towards shared objectives, not adversaries. This idea that every interaction between them needs to become some definitive judgment about superiority is mentally exhausting. The practice footage revealed Caitlin looking incredibly sharp after 5 months without competitive basketball. She moved fluidly, shot with clear confidence, defended with energy and focus. For someone who missed most of the WNBA season with knee problems, she appeared remarkably prepared to compete at elite level. One analyst mentioned how impressive it was that Caitlin stayed mentally engaged with the Fever season, despite being injured and unable to contribute on the court. That psychological challenge of sitting out when you desperately want to compete is brutal, especially after transitioning straight from an incredible college season into the WNBA with zero real recovery time, and then suddenly being forced to watch from the sideline. The fact that she remained visibly supportive of her team, cheering from the bench, staying connected, demonstrates real maturity and professionalism. The practice footage also showed Caitlin in proper defensive position multiple times, actively focusing on that aspect of her game. This narrative that she's defensively hopeless has haunted her entire career, often completely unfairly. She's not an elite defender, but she's nowhere near the liability some critics pretend she is. Her clear emphasis on defense during Team USA practice shows she recognizes that's an improvement area and wants to prove she can compete on that end. Paige Bueckers being at this camp carries real significance too. She's recovering from her own injury battles and trying to rebuild her status as one of elite women's basketball's premier players. The initial hype around Paige when she arrived at UConn was absolutely massive. She was positioned to be the next great college superstar, the new face of women's basketball. Then injuries completely derailed her path, and while she was recovering, Caitlin Clark emerged as college basketball's dominant phenomenon. That's not Paige's fault. Injuries are part of sport, but it creates this dynamic where Paige is working to reclaim some spotlight that shifted toward Caitlin. One practice shot doesn't achieve that goal, but it gives her supporters something to celebrate and feeds into this rivalry narrative that USA Basketball obviously wants to promote for engagement reasons. Those comments predicting people would make this situation weird were completely accurate. Within minutes of that clip going live, the discussion had collapsed into complete tribal warfare between fan bases. Any reasonable basketball analysis got thrown out in favor of defending your favorite player while attacking the other. Someone commented that as a Paige supporter, if anyone's celebrating her cooking Caitlin in this clip, they don't understand basketball and are just being strange. That's actually a reasonable perspective. This footage from one possession proves absolutely nothing. Both players have scored on each other throughout their careers. That's what elite offensive players do. They find ways to score on defenders, even excellent defenders. The mention of Paige loving a good pump fake is spot on. That's her. She's crafty, skilled, understands how to create space and get clean looks. Caitlin has her own arsenal of weapons. The step back three, the pull-up from ridiculous range, the ability to shoot off the dribble from 30 feet out. Both are exceptionally skilled offensive players who can score in numerous ways. What's frustrating about this entire situation is that we finally got to see Caitlin playing actual competitive basketball after 5 months of waiting, not shooting alone in an empty gym, not working out solo, actually competing against defenders, making real reads, participating in drills that mirror game situations. That should be the headline. Caitlin's return, and she looks fantastic. Instead, the story became one practice shot that Paige connected on, and the resulting fan base war in the comment. USA Basketball achieved the engagement they wanted, but they sacrificed what should have been celebrating talented players working together and turned it into manufactured drama. The footage featured other players as well. Cameron Brink, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Chelsea Gray working through her injury recovery, Juju Watkins watching from the sidelines. There's genuine talent and compelling storylines throughout this entire camp, but none of that creates the same engagement as Caitlin versus Paige drama. So that's what gets the spotlight. Someone questioned why Sabrina Ionescu wasn't at this camp, which is legitimate. Sabrina is among the WNBA's best players and has Team USA experience. The explanation is probably that USA Basketball is building toward the future with this particular camp, bringing in the next generation who will represent the country in upcoming competitions. That's why you see Caitlin, Paige, Cameron Brink, Juju Watkins, players who will be Team USA foundations for the next decade. That comment about Paige being excited to finally win something was unnecessarily harsh, but it shows the toxicity that exists in these fan base wars. Paige has endured devastating injuries that prevented her from achieving what she should have in college. That's not something to celebrate. It's actually heartbreaking that such a gifted player lost so much time to injuries. But online discussion doesn't reward understanding or perspective. It rewards inflammatory takes and tribal allegiance. So we get people attacking Paige for one good practice moment, or people attacking Caitlin for getting scored on during a drill. Nobody benefits except social media platforms profiting from engagement. The footage of Caitlin shooting her signature step-back three was incredible to watch after 5 months without seeing it in competitive situations. That move defines what makes her special. The range, the lightning release, the confidence to pull from anywhere beyond half court. USA Basketball recognizing it as her signature move shows they understand what makes her unique. Seeing Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston together at camp makes perfect sense given their Indiana Fever connection. They have established chemistry that carries over to Team USA. Having teammates you're already comfortable with makes adapting to new environments much smoother. The Nike reference in the original commentary deserves attention. Nike needs signature gear ready for Caitlin representing Team USA. That number 17 jersey is going to fly off shelf. The interest is undeniable. Nike already missed opportunities by not capitalizing more on Caitlin's popularity during the WS season. They cannot afford to miss another chance when she's representing her country. Having college players like Juju Watkins and Lauren Betts at this camp observing and learning is brilliant strategy. They're getting exposed to the competition level they'll need to reach for future Team USA rosters. Juju specifically could be a Team USA cornerstone for years ahead. But all that context and depth gets buried under fan base warfare about one practice shot. That's where women's basketball discussion sits right now. The sport is expanding, more people are paying attention, but conversations often get reduced to tribal battles instead of actually appreciating the basketball. The truth is that Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers are both incredibly talented players who elevate each other through competition. Their rivalry, to whatever extent it actually exists, makes both of them better. Elite players want to compete against other elite players because that's how improvement happens. But that's not a narrative that drives social media engagement. So USA Basketball posts footage of Paige scoring on Caitlin. Fans lose their minds in the comments, and we end up debating what one practice possession means instead of celebrating that we finally got to see Caitlin playing competitive basketball again. After 5 months, the original commentary was absolutely right. This is all we have right now until real games begin. Practice footage and drills. It's not perfect, but it's something. And after months of waiting to see Caitlin compete, even practice footage satisfies fans who just want to watch her play. USA Basketball posted one clip of Paige Bueckers scoring on Caitlin Clark during practice, and the internet immediately turned it into complete warfare. One shot in a drill became evidence of superiority, depending on which fan base you support. If you're exhausted by manufactured drama and just want to appreciate incredible basketball, smash that like button and subscribe. Because turning every single interaction between elite players into tribal warfare is completely draining, and someone needs to call it out.